Hello, everybody. This is Sheri Kaye Hoff with the Living Joyfully Show, and I have a fantastic guest here with me today. I want to tell you about her. She is Halle Eavelyn, and she is featured in Time Magazine, Good Morning America, USA Today, The Huffington Post, and has helped over 1,500 clients break through lifelong traumas and powerfully co-create a masterpiece of their lives. As an author, global spiritual tour leader, and business strategist, she guides clients on a powerful journey of self-discovery. She provides the clarity, support, and strategy they need to confidently step into the highest expression of themselves. An atheist until her first trip to Egypt, where her entire life transformed in a single moment, Halle's spiritual awakening put her on a journey to become a champion for women all over the world. Her mission to help women find their voice and thrive is now her life's work. In addition to her private clients, she is currently the mindset coach for several high-level business coaching programs. Her forthcoming show, Your Goddess Awakened, is available on YouTube and podcast platforms everywhere. You can discover more about her work at her website, halleeavelyn.com. It's HalleEavelyn.com. So welcome, Halle. I'm so excited to have you here today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Sheri. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to this time with you. I can't wait to see what unfolds.
I know, me too. So tell me, your focus is finding the soul in your business, and I know that's just so intriguing. So tell me what you mean by that and how people can do it.
Yeah, a lot of the work that I do right now is focused on bringing more of the feminine into the world. That's a concept that was new to me for a long time, new, foreign, uncomfortable stuff I didn't really like to think about or talk about. But I've learned that we are in a place where we get to balance the masculine and the feminine inside of ourselves, and that creates the best lives that we can live. So that's very simply put in more business-like terms as the feminine is the creating and the receiving side, the creating and receiving side of things. And so we a lot of times find that it's hard for us to receive. It's hard for us to ask for help, so it's hard for us to receive. So the idea is you come from a place where you understand that just like you have a soul, your business has a soul as well. And how can you balance the doing with the receiving in your business to give you a big lift and to make things so much easier in your life and in your work?
I love that. And it makes me think about how you can take a look at a business and it seems like they're doing everything right. Like even a brick and mortar business, not just an online business, but like you walk in the door and the aesthetics are beautiful, the products are beautiful, but it doesn't feel good. So it's like there's a missing piece there. And so I think a lot of, my clients that I work with, a lot of people are so focused on strategy, and they forget that piece, that the energy of your business, like the soul of your business, is what people feel when they walk into your business or they land on your website.
Yeah, everything is energy. I mean, physics, that's just, I like to say that's just math, right? So everything is energy. And then once we go from there, everything is also vibration, because the vibration is the level of energy that you're sending out, the level of energy that is received. That's kind of a shorthand way of saying it, but that's something that I think will make sense to everybody. And then the question is, are you in alignment with the energy that you're sending out? Are you getting out the energy that you desire from what you have sent out? Are you getting that same energy back? And for a lot of people, the answer is no, because they've got some block somewhere, and there's a block in their business a lot of times that's preventing them from really getting up to that next level. And so the idea of coming from that place, again, of having the soul in your business and asking the question, well, if my business were a person, would I want to hang out with them? Would I feel that they had integrity? Would they, or would they be doing things that were, the very best thing that they could do to guide themselves? And it just depends, because a lot of times it's just we haven't even looked at it. And then once we look at it, it's like, oh, well, here's an area where I'm really not expanding the way that I would like to, or here's an area where I'm doing so much that if this were a person, it would be like totally lopsided. And so looking at it from that perspective, you can actually gain insight into your business practices. And again, having that balance, going back to the idea of if your business were a human being with a soul, would you be doing way, way, way more on the doing side as opposed to on the receiving side? And the receiving part is the allowing as well. And that can make a big difference for folks.
Mm-hmm. So if people are not good at receiving, what is your process
Most of us
for
are not
helping them?
I feel like a lot of times we've blocked our receiving. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're hearing this, it's like your soul is poured into your business. That happens sometimes with people who have jobs, who are, like a manager of a company may feel a responsibility to that company. But there's something about the entrepreneurial spirit when you pour your life and soul into your work. And so when you're personally blocked from receiving, it can actually block your business as well. And so that's something that is an awareness for people, like, oh, I have a problem, receiving money personally, and my business isn't where I want it to be at, financially. Those two things are linked directly. So a lot of times it's learning the lessons from childhood, like really kind of breaking those things apart and seeing what are the lessons that I learned about money or about receiving anything, gifts or people's time or love, and where did that come from? And then, telling the new story. I am studying a lot of Joe Dispenza's work right now. Because I love the brain science.
Him. Yes.
Yeah. And he explains things in a very, he explains things in a very low level way, ultimately, for people to understand, the brain science behind everything. But it feels like there's always an opportunity to reprogram, to rewire our brains. That's certainly what I do with folks when I am coaching them, is I'm reprogramming the brain. I wanted to understand what the work was that I was downloading, so I that's why I started studying Dispenza's work. But basically, we're learning to tell new stories, and in telling the new story, reframing the old way of looking at it. I mean, I have clients that I work with where, they, like, for example, they were bullied when they were a little kid, and that's carried over into everything that they do without them even realizing it. And when we uncover that that's where it's coming from, now we reframe the story into something new. Some people can do it on their own. Most people, that's, why you have a coach, is so that they can help you.
I know, I can relate that. I mean, I have wonderful parents that I'm super close to still today, and thankfully they're still alive. And with me, I mean, there's many states away, but with me in my heart all the time. But one of the patterns I had as a child was I would only ask for things, I hated the word no, and I would only ask for things that I was absolutely sure would be a yes answer. So what happened, and, that kind of teaches you to try to be manipulative too, right? I don't mean in like a negative way, but also really ratchet down the ask. And so as a grown-up, realizing that dynamic, I challenge myself to ask for things that I'm sure are going to be a no. It's like I want to hear some no's, because I know if I'm not hearing any no's, my ask isn't big enough. And I know, like with law of attraction, of course I intend that the people that come into my community are my optimal clients. But even things like with my husband or, my kids, that kind of dynamic of only asking if I was sure I was going to get a yes on something really hurt my relationships in the beginning, because they weren't as authentic as they could be. So, I just really stepped into bravery and stepped into that. But it was, like you said, that realization of how that pattern from childhood impacted my life on, almost every level. So, it's definitely valuable work to go back and, not even really go back, but just have that awareness. Sometimes people think, oh, I don't want to go dig back, but it really isn't that, I'm sure. Like what happens is it's almost like a light bulb where you're like, oh, or you say something and you're like, I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. Where did that come from?
Yeah, your example is a really profound one, because you didn't talk about this part, but imagine that, how that affected you in your business as well. Because how can you grow your business as big as you would like when you have this tendency not to ask because you're afraid or concerned that you might hear that no? That would keep you fairly small. So again, that's an example where your personal life is spilling into your business life. The block that you're having with your personal experience is blocking the growth of your business. And so it's very important as you do that personal work, your ask in the business can be bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know that you've been through that process already, but just to continue the example, because I think that, people look in, a lot of times people are like, well, I'm me and that's my work over there. And they feel like they're putting in most of their time on this planet into that work, but they're not thinking in terms of the business itself being its own entity. And so I feel like that's a very powerful shift for people to be aware of that. It's like you have this entity that you get to interact with, but that also you kind of get to embody, like you step into that. To that, you become the soul of the business. And so that's why it's so important that you've done your own clearing work so that you can support having your business grow as big as you would love for it to.
I think it's just so powerful because, we started talking about in the beginning, people can be looking for all the right marketing techniques and strategy. But if you don't have that alignment, that piece or pieces, you're going to feel like I'm working so hard and it's not working. And my first few years in business, that's what I experienced until I had that realization. I've owned my company for 14 years, and it was a couple years in when, I had that realization about the fear of no, and I totally overcame it, and I honestly thought I would never overcome it in my lifetime. Like I tell the story of how when I was a kid and I had a paper route, back then kids were responsible for collecting the money, And I wouldn't collect the money. I would pay for the papers for all my neighbors. I was the opposite of an entrepreneur. So, I mean, I look back on that story and I think, oh, that's adorable. But it really, drove home how, okay, I've got to switch this around.
You said something earlier that sparked my interest, and I'm trying to remember. Something that I wanted to share with everybody about about moving in the right direction with their business. A lot of times, it really helps to kind of have an assessment and really look at what you're doing in your business, kind of top to bottom. You were talking about the strategy and doing all the things and having it not work. And I see that a lot because why I'm a mindset coach for people, actually. You said in my bio that, I'm a mindset coach for other high-level business programs, and I do all the time. And people will be in this business coaching program doing all the things. And it's like, where are the results? And the answer is, well, you haven't done the work yet to get your mindset in alignment with what's possible. So you're going through the motions. This is the masculine, the doing. But you haven't gotten to that point where you're creating something new or you're receiving. And a lot of times we've kind of cut that off because we don't really realize that it's a necessary piece, or we think that, our mindset shouldn't have anything to do with it, or our intuition shouldn't have anything to do with it, when really that's like everything. So I just wanted to mention that as well.
I love that. I love that. Well, if people want to get in touch with you and, ask you some more questions or get involved in your community, what's the best way for them to do that?
I feel like the best way is just to go to halleeavelyn.com. We always have a gift to give people when they sign up on the site. Right now, it's a piece called 3 Keys to Slay Your Inner Critic. So it's 3 ways to quiet the voice inside of you that's telling you you can't do it, or you're not good enough, or any of that stuff. So whether it's your mom's voice or your personal inner voice that's beating you about the head and neck, this is a way of really clearing that out, quieting that voice again, so that you can reframe those stories and really move forward. And so that's available on the site. And again, as you said, I'm just going to spell it real quick, HALLEEAV like victory, ELYN like ninja, halleeavelyn.com. And that's the best way of staying in touch. I've got a couple of Facebook groups as well, some online communities, but the best way to find out about all of that is just through the website.
Okay, well, there you have it, everyone. Please check out her website if it resonates with you, and I am just so thrilled that we had this chance to talk here today. If you could kind of wrap up, and someone said, in a sentence or two, what do you want people to take home today? What would that be?
I actually would love to add a little thing and just say, if you're going through a difficult time in your business, or you're uncertain whether you're on the right path, if you are doing what you love, keep going and trust that the soul of your business will evolve along with your evolution, and that you can truly have a business that you love and that supports you.
I love that keep going, because the entrepreneurial route is full of many moments of people saying, why am I doing this? So keep going and keep that faith. So thank you so much, Halle. I just want to tell everyone, this is Sheri Kaye Hoff. This is the Living Joyfully Show. You can find out more about me at SheriKayeHoff.com. That's SheriKayeHoff.com. And there's some free gifts and assessments there as well. So thank you, Halle. Thank you, everyone. I love you so much, and have a wonderful day, week, month, year. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.